And it goes a little something like.
You all summer and after I'll keep you.
Hello literates, I'm Britt Ryderly and welcome back to Writer's Ambition. For those of you who've been hanging in since episode 1, you're a real one. And for those of you who are just finding my humble channel, welcome. We hope you stay a while. So today, you know what time it is. We are rocking with the Motley crew. Yes, thank you. Yes, so we are rocking with the Motley crew. We are doing the August playlist. So the August installments start with 13, There Was a River after Octavia Butler, and go to 24, These Births Are No Longer Stargazers by after Mariah Dessa Akira Tale. Get her name out. She's an amazing, just like human. She's a friend of mine. I was so happy I could use one of her works as the installments. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm gonna assume that you have because you're attentive and smart citizens of the land illiterate. But all of the titles for Tales of Eliza Black come from works of Black women. That's just the ethos of Tales of Eliza Black, of uncovering Black women, of citing Black women. That's what we're doing here. So if you didn't know, now you know. So that's where we are with the August playlist. So let's get into it. I'm excited because I have 3 characters this time. If you remember, in July it was Belle and Eliza, just those 2, because those were the most sort of prominent characters in the first to the 12th installment. Now we're adding Lazarus Gibson Baldwin. So let's get into it. I'm excited. Okay. We're starting with Eliza. The first song in Eliza's playlist was Neon Gumbo by Janelle Monáe. The second one is going to be Confidently Lost by Sabrina Claudio. Why? Okay. In this 12 pack, if you will, of installments, I have notes so I don't get distracted. We don't see very much of Eliza, but we do see her getting acclimated to the place that she was tossed into. So Neon Gumbo is, I hope you've listened to it by now. It's not long. I'm gonna try to start. I'm vetting a few places now on like how I can insert a playlist like in the description so y'all have all the songs ongoing and be able to just like rock to them on your own time. But in the meantime, just go look up the song on YouTube. Not now, later. But the song is really very confused and abstracted, like I've already said in the July playlist. If you haven't seen it, this is not that. And it's not because Belle, it's not because Eliza is any sort of less confused. She's not. But she's also coming into, she is kind of where she wanted to be. She didn't want to be in the grave. She didn't know that's where she was going to end up. But she did want to find out what was happening to these women. She did want to find her Aunt Rain. She did want to save her Aunt Rain. She does want this to end. And so if she wants that, she has to be in the grave. She didn't know that, but she knows now. And so she's sort of coming into, okay, so this is where I have to be. I still don't know quite what's going on, but I am where I need to be. I'm gonna settle here. And that's sort of what Confidently Lost gives me in the mood. It's very much like, I'm not hiding, I'm not running, I'm just moving through this stage, through this place where I am, and that's what Eliza's doing. Again, she's not out of Neon Gumbo territory, and that's why I still have to choose Confidently Lost, because it is sort of very wavy of like, but it's more peaceful. It's not, there's not as much going on as there is in Neon Gumbo. So we're ramping down from the craziness of Neon Gumbo into a sort of like, okay, I can rock to this for a bit, I guess, like, well, not I guess, because it's confident, but like, I can rock to this for a bit. I'm okay with not knowing everything about it, and that's where Eliza is. So that's where we're at right now. Belle, I chose Light, the Tosca Black remix by San Holo. Why? If you can't tell, I'm in a really wavy mood, but it is the mood of this song. Listen to it, it's so good. It's wavy, but it's still committed. Like there's still some bass in this song, even though there's like a melody that is very like airy. It's still, the bass to me is like still committing to like some groundedness in the song. That's Belle. She's finding out about an impossible thing, but she's willing to do it. She's willing to sneak out during a pandemic and not tell her mom. She's willing to walk to Great River's house at night after curfew and risk getting caught by the cops. She's willing to risk walking an hour to Esperanza to sneak onto her college campus, trespassing. She's willing to take a night swim in the lake in the cold. She's willing to keep swimming down even though she's running out of air. She's willing to chase Eliza. And that is what this song is. This is so far out of my wheelhouse. I don't even know what's going on. But even if it makes me blind, I just want to see the light. And that's one of the lyrics of the song. Even if I have to give my last breath of air, I'm going to find my friend. I'm going to rescue my friend. And that sort of commitment of this song, even amidst like the weirdness of the ambiance of the song, is where Belle is right now. Okay. Lazarus Gibson Baldwin, my dude. Okay. Welcome, Laz. So here it is. The song I chose for Laz is called Up All Night by Jussie Smollett. If you watched Empire, you know who he is. So there were lots of songs that I could have chosen, and I decided to relegate them to September playlist, so we'll get to that later. But the song that I wanted to start with for Laz, and I honestly feel like Laz would want me to start with, is Up All Night, and here's why. Laz is in love with Eliza. He loves her. He's willing to do just as much as Belle is to get her back because he loves her. So whatever else he has going on, and I'm trying not to spoil anything and remember what exactly happened in 13 through 24. Yes, so you've already met Hope. So you know he's got other things going on. But for Laz, what's most prominent above all of that is Eliza and getting her back. Nothing else matters to him. And this song has the energy that I get from Laz of ache, of longing, of devotion. I get all of that from Laz. And when I was thinking about him being in the jail, when I think about him getting picked up and us finding Hope, and I would love to hear what y'all think of Hope, because I'm trying to like not say too much about him because you don't know much about him yet, but he's juggling a lot of things, and I could have put emphasis on those things in choosing this song, but that's not the core of Laz. These things are going on. He absolutely needs to deal with them, but above everything that he has going on in his life, Eliza's safety is always preeminent. And so when introducing him, I felt like Laz would want me to say that first, that hi, I'm Lazarus Gibson Baldwin. I love Eliza. Like he wouldn't say, and I have this guy named Hope chilling in my head who sometimes takes over when I can't deal with life. Like that's not what he would lead with ever. He would lead with Eliza. If I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to think of my characters individually and not together, so I can make sure that the character is standing on their own. And it was something that I was told by Kenya. She's a great another YouTuber. She's not a booktuber. She's more like a beauty entertainment, I guess, but she's great. She was talking about a TV show, and she was critiquing Gilmore Girls, I think, and she was saying there are like a handful of real characters on Gilmore Girls, but the rest of them are really fake characters because you never see them unless they're in relation to a main character, because they're not really people, because they don't have any story of their own, they don't have any character of their own. And I was like, dang, that's a really good test. So she said, if I don't remember the name, the main woman, the mother, if the mother walked into a bar and wherever she said, let's just say in Texas, if the main woman walked into a bar in Texas, you know what she would do because you know her. If I think it was her ex-husband, her father's daughter, who she was saying was not a real character, if her father's daughter walked into that bar, you have no idea what he would do. I think his name was Chris. You have no idea what Chris would do because he's not a real character. He's only allowed to exist to bring the drama. He doesn't have anything of his own. And so I was trying to think of that as a good test for mine. Like if Eliza walked into a bar in Texas, what would she do? If Belle walked into a bar in Texas, what would she do? If Laz walked into a bar in Texas, what would he do? And that's been helping me to sort of fill them out a bit. And I'm wondering if you guys know what they would do. Like if the writing has made clear enough to you, remember, like this is sort of like, y'all are reading this stuff like not even a full month after I write it. There is not a lot of time to go back. There isn't a lot of time to flesh things out. It just is what it is. So I'm wondering if you all know like what Eliza would do if she walks into a bar in Texas by herself. And when I thought about Laz walking to a bar in Texas by himself, he might walk in by himself, but he would absolutely want Eliza to be with him. And so because of that, of being like, okay, Laz's song, Laz walks into a bar in Texas, what does he do? He sits at the bar, orders something, and waits for Eliza to show up. And not in a like he doesn't have his own character kind of way, but in a very like, he's what, a 2022. He's like 22 years old, still relatively young. Not relatively young, still like a young man who has had this person in his life for his entire life, and they just go together like that. They're always together. So wherever he is, he's always going to be waiting for her to show up if she's not already there. He's always going to be like, well, she's on her way. That's what it is. And so when I chose Up All Night, it was because someone who is always waiting for another person to show up when that person has been taken from them and you have no idea how to get them back, it's gonna be disruption, it's gonna be ache, it's gonna be long, it's gonna be all those things. So that is our playlist. Thank you for rocking with the Motley crew. Speaking of the Motley crew, let's see what they're up to. Come along, it is story time.
25. Today is a good day to keep someone alive. And you ain't never known a black woman who ain't did that. After Ebony Stewart. By the time we were 12, it was too late. I already had a destiny brewing in the recesses of my subconscious, big enough to one day get me a bridge beyond snatched, and Lazarus already had his own voices that kept him a bridge beyond okay. But we had each other for that. The first time I knew I loved Laz, he was doing what he always does. Something dangerous that would probably get him in trouble later. He was being kind. I kissed him on the cheek and said, Laz, sometimes I really wish for you to have been born a dog. Forget about those sad commercials they spring on you before you can change channels, because you'd be a golden retriever and the light-colored dogs always get rescued first anyway. I tell him to hold on to his devotion, his nurturing ways, his sensitivity to the world's pain and will to single-handedly happy it away. I say, if you could just release your own pain, the suffocating standard you press to your face while you lie in bed after all the responsible adults have left the room, Laz, you and Fido would be a perfect fit. Then you would be safe. Then your life would be insured by some doting caretaker. Then people would march for your rights all the time, and you would even have to ask. I look at him, and instead of just saying, I love you, I say, do you know how scary it is to fall in love with a boy whose name sounds like the promise of death? He says, you know Lazarus was raised from the grave. I say, and you know they tried to kill him every day after that. I hug him, feel how much he loves the pressure, and hug him tighter. I hope this means he won't cut himself tonight. And so I beg him. He says he'll try his best and means it. But I know better than to ask for things out of either of our control. Know by now to beseech the compulsion itself. So I pull back, pull up sleeve, pull wrist to lip and press, praying to scars on the altar of hands that just want to heal the world, that they will heal themselves first. But they are impassive as always, and my pleas go unanswered. I don't know if there will be fresh offerings, hieroglyphic sonnets anointing this holy ground tomorrow, and it is not for me to criticize how Laz appeases his demons, but they did try to kill Lazarus every day after he rose, miracle or not, and that means my sweet black boy is destined to be wondrous work and slain scapegoat that his triumphant elation must always herald, a fall to the depths of the earth away from me. I don't realize I've said all this aloud until he says, you can raise me. Until I respond, not for 4 days, and one is like 1,000 years to the God you love. So what about that? He says, patience. I say, Lazarus, The most Christ-like thing I can do right now is cry for your death and be there to change the bindings of your grave. They always cling to your wrist, always need to be freshened. He says, yeah, they do. And I know compulsion has answered my prayer and said no, and to my petition to loose him, it says not for a while. So I settle in to the difficult task of loving someone who is in constant pain and near constant denial. I swear to his God, if he didn't love me back, I'd have died from exhaustion by now. Follow me, do not speak. Great Rain's whisper is like a shout, jarring Eliza out of her reverie. Her aunt opens the window they use more than the door and steps out onto the fire escape. No problem, Eliza thinks. She has nothing to say anyway. Her mind is consumed by the look on Laz's face and what he's doing right now. Reach your full potential every Tuesday with Britt Riderly's Writer's Ambition. Then embrace adventure every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with Eliza Black. Don't leave us hanging. We'll see you soon.